So we were looking at parasympathomimetics. Fine. So as part of it, we started with biosynthesis of acetylcholine and its catabolism, that is breaking down of acetylcholine. Then after we proceeded forward to see the classification of parasympathomimetics. So the classification includes direct acting agents and indirect acting agents. Direct acting agents, you have, do you see the whiteboard? Someone please do respond.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, it disappeared from my screen. That is the reason I'm asking. Okay, fine. So the classification includes direct acting agents that has two subcategories. One is cholinesters. Examples for cholinesters are acetylcholine, carbachol, bethanyl, and methacholine. Coming to their mechanism of action, they act like that of acetylcholine. Okay, so what are the pharmacological actions of acetylcholine? You please do refer from pharmacology textbook and let me know. Okay, and cholinomimetic alkaloid, we have one, that is pilocarpine. Then the indirect acting agents, we have two subcategories. One is reversible, the other one is irreversible. So the examples for reversible indirect acting cholinomimetics are physostigmine, neostigmine, pyridostigmine, hydrophonium chloride, aminonium chloride, tacrine. For irreversible candidates, sympathomimetics, examples are isofluorophate, ecothiopate, parathion, malathion. And there is some unique category, that is choline esterase reactivator. Example is pralidoxime chloride. Then after we saw, one moment, we saw the chemical structure of acetylcholine. Okay, so this quaternary ammonium group along with the two carbons forming ethylene chain is a choline molecule. Inside the choline molecule, only this one is called as onium ion. The nitrogen attached to four carbons is quaternary nitrogen and it is called as onium ion. This is acetate group. So this much I have explained, and I have compared the structure of carbachol and methacholine and the other choline esters with that of acetylcholine. So we saw the structure of carbachol is having difference at amino group being replacing amino group replacing the CH3 in the acetate. So carbamide. Okay, so that is the reason carbachol. Okay, then we had learned the synthesis of carbachol. It started with ethylene chlorhydrin and phosgene. Okay, both are fused together by the removal of HCl. We had chloroethyl chloroformate. For that, we have added ammonia in ether. Again, one molecule of HCl is lost, and what formed? Chloroethyl urethane is formed. To this, we have added trimethylamine, and finally, we got the carbachol. Then we saw the structures of bethanyl chloride, and which has similar structure that of carbachol and extra methyl group on the one of the carbons of the ethylene bridge. And methacholine, you have again the same structure as that of acetylcholine, but a extra substituent of methyl group. Then after we went forward and saw cholinomimetic alkaloid, that is pilocarpine structure, which is having furan, tetrahydrofuran, or tetrahydrofuran having carbonyl group called as furanone, is bridged with imidazole, tetrahydroimidazole. Okay, so imidazoline, tetrahydroimidazole can be called as imidazoline, and tetrahydrofuran with double bond O carbonyl group can be called as furanone. Okay, so furanone is bridged with imidazole through methyl bridge, and you have substituents on furanone, that is ethyl, and on imidazolone you have methyl group. Then we have seen the structures of physostigmine and neostigmine. These two are indirect acting cholinomimetics. Okay, so these structures needs to be practiced till you remember them. Okay, so in physostigmine you have indole, benzene fused with pyrrole is indole, and that ring is again fused with tetrahydropyrrole or pyrrolidine, and both the nitrogens of pyrrolidine moieties have CH3 attached to it, and you have carbamide group and a methyl carbamide group attached to the phenyl ring. Okay, that is the structure of physostigmine. So these names and structures are uncomparable with the names. It is somewhat difficult. Okay, that is the reason you need to remember them as such. So neostigmine, you have the different ring. Only phenyl ring is having onium ion as one substituent, and carbamide, in carbamide both the hydrogens of amino group are replaced with the methyl group. Okay, that is one thing. So you will observe most of the differences between two components of the same group. Okay, so then we proceed forward to see the structure of neostigmine. So we saw the structure of neostigmine, right? So we need to learn the synthesis of neostigmine. We need to learn the synthesis of neostigmine. So the starting material for the synthesis of neostigmine is this. This is a phenyl ring, amino group with two methyl groups, and here you have potassium salt of. So what can be the name? It is potassium 3 dimethylamino, this one, dimethylamino. Benzeno. Benzenolate we can call, or phenolate. So a benzene directly attached with OH is phenol. Okay, here in hydrogen is replaced with potassium. Okay, so it is a potassium salt of phenol. So we can call it as phenolate. So phenolate is having dimethylamine substituent. Okay, so the name is potassium 3 dimethylamine is put in bracket substituent and phenolate. Okay, this is the starting material for the synthesis of neostigmine. This is added with you will tell me the name. So can you compare these starting materials with that of the final structure? So this is NN dimethylamino Instead of amino, it is carbonyl group, right? So when it is amide bond, amide group, so it can be called as carbamoyl chloride, NN dimethyl carbamoyl, carbamoyl. That means carbonyl group and amine group both are attached in carbamoyl, and the salt is chloride. So these both will be fused together to get the first one, potassium. We will get this structure, this part from potassium 3 dimethylaminophenolate, nitrogen with 2 methyl groups, and here potassium is a leaving group like chloride. So instead of potassium, and potassium from here and chlorine from here gets removed as KCl salt. Okay, salt is formed, and the remaining part will be getting attached to the oxygen. So this is the thing we are getting. So here what else is missing? We are missing one more CH3 here. When we compare it with final structure, we need one more CH3 getting attached to the amine. So for that we'll add methyl bromide, CH3Br, that is methyl bromide. Then you will get the neostigmine. So what is the structure of neostigmine? So quaternary ammonium, the nitrogen will have positive charge. Okay, O, C double bond O, N, CH3, CH3. So our retrosynthetic method can be applied here also. Okay, so this place can be balanced by bromine minus. So this is neostigmine. So are you able to follow me? So did you see the structure of neostigmine on your board? Full? Please do confirm. Can you see the final structure of neostigmine in the synthesis in the last step on your whiteboard?
No, sir.
No? No or yes? రెస్పాండ్ కావడానికి ఇట్లా సిగ్గుపడితే ఎట్లమ్మా మీరు? I didn't hear your voice clearly. That is the reason I'm asking again whether it is yes or no. Okay, now I can confirm that you can see it. Okay. Then this is the synthesis of neostigmine, and let's see the chemical structure of hydrophonium chloride. Okay, so this is a phenyl ring. C2H5 means ethyl and CH3 CH3, and you have one OH here. Okay, so ammonium ion is quaternary ammonium group attached to 4 alkyl groups, right? So you can correlate this structure with its name. Here E indicates ethyl group in ammonium. Ammonium generally have 3 methyl groups attached to 1 nitrogen, but here ethyl group is replacing one of the methyl groups attached to the nitrogen, and you have dimethyl. That means as one of the 3 methyls are replaced with ethyl, you are remained with 2 methyl groups. So dimethyl can be correlated from the D of the hydro, second letter. Okay. Dimethyl. Then phenol can be correlated. Phenol is nothing but benzene ring directly attached with OH is phenol. So you have phenol here. Phenol, and having a ammonium ion, in that ammonium ion you have 2 methyl groups and 1 ethyl group. Okay, so and this is a chlorine salt, and plus, and here Cl minus. You can write like this also. Okay. I think you must be knowing the structure of phenol. Okay, fine. Next, we'll see the structure of ambinonium. Ambinonium dichloride. So it will look little huge, but it is logically rememberable. Ambinonium dichloride. Here you have 2 chlorines as a salt to form the salt. So observe the structure. So this ammonia, this nitrogen in this quaternary ammonium group will be attaining positive charge. Okay, so it is a benzyl ring, chlorosubstituted benzyl having onium ion. Okay, this methyl group is part of onium ion. Okay, onium ion is having phenyl chloride, you can say. Okay, or you can say it as benzyl anyway, but onium ion, remember onium ion. Okay, to the onium ion you have CH2NH and a carbonyl group. Now structure is not yet over, please do remember this. And write the same, exactly same, just below it. Again write the same thing below this. Chlorine, CH2, nitrogen, two ethyl groups, one above and the other below. Write the same exactly the above structure. CH2, CH2, NH, C, double bond. Okay, the both structures are same. Now connect both the carbonyl groups. So this is the final structure of ambinonium. Okay, it is a salt of dichloride salt. So 2Cl minus. You got the logic? So you remember that ambinonium will have ammonium as the main group. Around ammonium you have to the ammonium group. This is the ammonium. You have one side phenyl chloride attached, other side methylamine and carbonyl group extension. Okay, remember one chain and try to remember there is a connection between two carbonyl groups. Okay, carbonyl groups, that means it is dione. Two carbonyl groups means dione. Okay, and the same structure is repeated again. So did you get it? That's fine. So next we move on to the structure of tacrin. So this is the structure, please do observe. So is it looking similar to any of the rings that I have taught you in my first two classes, first 2 to 3 classes? Not a single member. Remember the basic heteronuclear structures that I have taught. Do you know the structure of acridine? It will have 3 rings. Pyridine fused with benzene rings on both the sides is known as acridine. And if you rotate this structure, likewise amine nitrogen atom comes above. Okay, and at this position you have amino group attached, and this ring is lacking one double bond. So you can remember that this is a derivative of acridine. Tacrin is a derivative of acridine. This is how you can remember. Clear? So I guess with this we have completed seeing the chemical structures of the direct acting agents and also reversible indirect acting parasympathomimetics. Now let's see the structures of irreversible parasympathomimetics. So what is the first one? Isofluorophate. Irreversible parasympathomimetics. So first one is isofluorophate. So phosphorus is the main group. Try to remember that all the insecticides, most of the insecticides and pesticides will have phosphor as main group. To the phosphor, you have OCH. To the CH, you have two methyl groups attached. Okay, and this side same. So if you observe, this is a phosphate group. So by fate you remember it is a phosphate. Okay, iso means isopropyl, two isopropyl groups attached to sides, and fluorine atom. So this is how you should remember the structure. Okay, phosphate, you know the structure of phosphate, P, capital P with double bond O and three oxygens on other three sides. One of the oxygen is replaced with fluorine atom and two of the oxygens are attached with isopropyl groups. So isofluorophate. Okay, fate. Phosphate, fluorine atom. It is not fatum, it is fluorine atom. Okay, remember fluorine, isopropyl group. Okay, this is how you should remember. Then comes ecothiopate. So again, observe this. This is sulfur. Oxygen. Ethyl group. Another ethyl group. Okay. Two sulfur. Ethylene bridge is connected. And ammonium. And ammonium will have positive charge, and it is salt of iodine, icothiopate iodide. So you have lot of difference between isofluorophate and icothiopate. Okay, so here phosphorus, instead of the third oxygen, you have two substituents, ethyl substituents on the single oxygen. Okay, and you have here sulfur. Thio, I have already told you that thio indicates sulfur. Phosphate, again, fate indicates phosphate. Okay, E can be for ethyl, and CHO can be for choline. So what is the choline molecule I have told? Ammonium ion continually attached with two carbons is ammonium ion. Ammonium ion and two ethyl groups attached to it. This total extension is choline. Okay, E means ethyl. Remember, two ethyl groups are attached to oxygen. Choline molecule this side, and thio, you have sulfur attached to the phosphate group. Okay, phosphate group directly attached to the sulfur, and that sulfur is attached to the choline. Okay, so these ethyl groups are at two ethyl groups are attached to the oxygen atom of the phosphate group. Okay, then next we move forward to see the structure of parathion. So again, phosphate, sulfur. So earlier you saw phosphate was having double bond O, but here double bond S. Parathion. Thion means double bond S. Okay. Three sides oxygen is there. Okay, one side it is having attachment with ethyl group. Okay, ethyl group. Here also it is having ethyl group to this oxygen, and to this oxygen you have nitrophenyl group. Okay, so nitro is at para position. So para nitrophenyl phosphate. Okay, diethyl phosphothione. So remember, thion means here you have special arrangement, that is double bond S instead of double bond O. Okay, and you have two ethyl groups attached to two other oxygens, and one oxygen is attached with para nitrophenyl group. So parathion. Okay. Next we move on to see the structure of malathion. So what is thion? So anyhow, the phosphate group is the major. So P double bond S O O, and here also one more sulfur. Okay, two sulfurs are here. One as part of thion and the other one is replacing one of the oxygens. So these two oxygens are with methyl group. Okay, now you have to remember the chains attached to the sulfur. There are two chains attached to the sulfur, that is CH2, C double bond O. COO, C2, H5. And here it is also same one, CH2, C double bond O, O, C2, H5. So this is the malathion's structure. So just try to compare it with the parathion. It will have extra sulfur. In parathion you have ethyl groups here, but here it is methyl groups. So M methyl groups. Okay, and you should remember the difference at this structure. Two substituents attached to the two sulfurs are present. One sulfur you have two substituents, that is it can be called as 1 2 3 4. So 4 carbons and it is an ester. So ester is a derivative of carboxylic acid, so you can call it as uh, butanoic acid, okay, or butanoate. Okay, so this is how you should compare it with parathion and remember. So remember M for methyl and P double bond S instead of P double bond O, thion. And remember sulfur instead of oxygen. Okay, so these are the just tips. You should not write all these things in the exam. Instead of one oxygen atom you have another S. Okay, so this is how you should remember the structure of malathion. So anything else left? Are we done with all the chemical structures? So two categories done. One cholinesterase reactivator is there, right? Cholinesterase reactivator. What is the example? Pralidoxin chloride. Pralidoxin chloride. Now you will tell me the name of this ring. If you don't tell, I'll not take any more classes. What is the name of this ring? Yeah, someone should respond. 6-membered ring. What is the name of this ring? Yeah, someone respond quickly.
Pyridine.
Yes, it is pyridine. Okay, pyridine or pyridine. So the nitrogen is satisfied with 3 valency and it has a lone pair of electrons. So every time when it comes to the nitrogen, this is the thing happens before it attains positive charge. So this lone pair of electrons will be lost to form a bond with substituent. Then it will attain positive charge. Okay, this is, and there is one more substituent at this position, that is CH double bond N OH. Okay, and this whole molecule will have chloride salt form. So this is the structure, and if you see, this group is known as oxime. Okay, so oxime, and remember it is a pyridinium ion. Pyridinium, pyridinium ion for P. Okay, so they have made up the name prolydoxime considering oxime group as well as pyridinium ion. Ion means if it is not cation, it is pyridine, but by having a substituent attached extra out of its valency 3, it attains a charge, positive charge, so it is an ion, cation, right? So pyridinium ion. So try to remember it this way. So do I have any more structures? So that's fine. So next we are remained with the topic, that is SAR. What is SAR? Structure activity relationship of para sympatho mimetic agents. So for that you need to so you might have observed a general structure. See, every time nitrogen, okay, nitrogen is having 4 carbons attached to it and forming a what ion? Ammonium ion, and it is attaching most of the cases to ethyl bridge. Okay, so what is this? This is choline, and substituents attached to nitrogen are varying, sometimes ethyl, sometimes methyl. Okay, okay, and this is having acetate, and here alkyl group is also changing. So did you see the complete structure I have written on the board? This is ester. and only this one is onium. So can you see the board is filled actually from my side? I don't know whether it is visible to you. Do you see the whole matter I have written on the board? The complete parent structure, and I have divided into choline, onium and ester. Do you see all these things?
No, sir.
Okay, now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there is some delay between I write and they appear there. So nitrogen atom connected to 4 carbons is onium ion. That onium ion along with that means CH2 ethyl side chain, 1 carbon of ethyl is part of onium ion. Okay, so that onium ion along with one more carbon molecule is called as choline molecule. Then after we have OC double bond O, that is ester. Okay, if it is CH, 1 carbon instead of R, it is acetate, right? So this is the most parent chain which is showing parasympathomimitic activity. Okay, that means we can change the structure at R and at onium ion. Okay, so at onium ion, the substituents are varying. Till now we saw so many chemical structures, right? So the SAR of sympathomimetic agents is divided into 3. So first one is the modification of onium ion, modification of onium ion or onium moiety, and the second one is modification of ester group, modification of ester group, and the third one is modification of ethylenic bridge. Modification of ethylenic bridge. Okay, so the structural activity relationship of parasympathomimetics is divided into 3. So when you see the parent structure, you can easily remember. One is, it is totally divided into 3, right? So first we can do modifications on choline, do modifications of ester, and do modifications on ethylene bridge. Okay, ethylene bridge plus onium will make choline molecule. Okay, so now let's see what modifications can be done on onium ion. Modifications on onium. So I'll be providing the notes, but I'll be explaining here. Okay, what is onium? Onium is nothing but this. Okay, this is very much essential. This group is very much essential. So onium is essential, first point, for intrinsic activity. Let me connect charger. So essential for intrinsic activity. So there are few exceptions. Okay, few exceptions where there is some modifications or absence of onium ion. What are they? I told you, no, we cannot relate their names with the structure. or general structure. If you observe pilocarpine, it was somewhat different from our parent structure, right? Oxotremorin is there, and some nilotrin is there, but they are not as part of our syllabus. Don't need. So pilocarpine is one of the exceptions where there is no ammonium ion. Okay, ammonium ion is essential for activity. At the same time, we have one candidate that doesn't have ammonium ion. That is pilocarpine. CH3, CH3. That means either it is modified or absent in the pilocarpine. Okay. Let me check the structure of pilocarpine. So pilocarpine is a fusion of furanone and imidazole. So there the trimethyl ammonium, or this what we call ammonium ion, is absent. So you should remember this point is very important, can be asked. Okay. So you'll be having exam from this also. Every unit you will have a pre-meet. So try to remember each point. And phosphonium, sulfonium, arsenonium, isosteres. Isosteres I told no. They may be different structurally but having similar biological activity are called isosteres. Are substituents larger than methyl group on the nitrogen increases the size of ammonium ion and decreases the activity. So size of ammonium ion, if it increases, it will decrease its activity. So these are the major points. So how the size is increased? By the substituents like phosphonium, sulfonium, okay, arsenic, okay, or and their isosteres. So these are the 3 points to be remembered with respect to the ammonium ion. So first is ammonium ion is very much essential for its activity. One exception is pilocarpine, and if the size of ammonium ion increases, the activity will be decreased. The size of ammonium ion is increased generally with the substituents like phosphate, sulfur, arsenic by attaching such substituents to the nitrogen. So these are the main points, three only. So and very important for the modification of ammonium ion. Next is the modification on.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir.
ఇంకా అయిపోయింది, 2 చూస్తే అయిపోతుంది మనకు ఒక 5 minutes.
Sir, sir.
Okay, modification of ester group. So ester we have at the end, right? O C double bond O R. Okay, I'll quickly go through it. Okay, so actually this is essential for binding to the receptor. Receptor bind కావాలి కదా, దానికి important binding to the receptor. That is very important point. Okay, if the SL group is substituted, it is again increases the size, decreases the activity. So it should be substituted optimally, should not be large. Okay, and if you see the carbachol, ester group is replaced with carbamyl, CONH2. Okay, carbachol. In carbachol, so you have CONH2 instead of COCH3. Okay, so it has both muscarinic and nicotinic properties. That means it is binding to the receptors both M type and N types. So by changing CH3 to that of NH2, you can broaden the receptor selectivity, both nicotinic and muscarinic. Okay. Then the carbamic group is also essential for affinity to the receptor. Okay, affinity means the possibility of getting attracted towards the receptor. That means getting selective to the receptor. Okay. So there is something called 5-atom rule. What it is saying, 5-atom rule means there is a ammonium ion, right? Trimethyl ammonium. That ammonium ion, if it needs to have muscarinic activity, it should be followed by a chain of 5 atoms. I'll explain you with the general structure. So this is the ammonium ion. After ammonium ion, how many atoms are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the ammonium ion having a continuous 5 atoms will show good muscarinic activity. That is 5-atom rule. Okay, so that 5-atom rule is obeyed in most of the cases. So these are the 4 to 5 important points regarding the modifications on esters. So the last one is modifications on ethylene bridge. Modification of ethylenic bridge. That is the between 2 carbons are there, no? That is ethylene. So if you shorten it or lengthen it, the chain, the number of atoms, if you increase or decrease, okay, that is separating ester and amino group, right? Ammonium group and ester are separated by this ethylenic bridge. Okay, if you increase or decrease the length, that will decrease the muscarinic activity. That means activities related to M type of receptor. And alpha substitution in choline moiety, that will decrease the nicotinic as well as muscarinic activity. If alpha substitution is done, that will also decrease the muscarinic and N activity, nicotinic receptor activities also. And B, that will reduce nicotinic more, N type, and muscarinic less. That means if alpha substitution is done, more of the muscarinic activity is reduced than nicotinic. Both activities will be reduced, but more muscarinic activity will be reduced in case of alpha substitution. Even if you do beta substitution, both the activities will get reduced, but more of the nicotinic activity will be reduced along with some of the muscarinic activity. So if you hydrolyze, what happens? So hydrolysis is faster in case of beta substitution than that of alpha substitution. So if you, this is all about substitution at alpha and beta. Okay, alpha is reducing more muscarinic activity and beta substitution is reducing more of the nicotinic activity. In both the cases, both nicotinic as well as muscarinic activity will be reduced, but muscarinic activity will be more reduced instead of in case of alpha substitution, and nicotinic activity will be reduced more in beta substitution. Likewise, hydrolysis of acetylcholine or similar esters will be more faster if it is beta substituted than the alpha. Okay, these are the four important points to be remembered on modification of ethylenic bridge. So with this we have completed parasympathomimetics agent, and in next class we shall start with parasympatholytics. So today we have revised our last classes, and we proceeded with all the chemical structures, and finally we saw the structure activity relationships of parasympathomimetics. So this is it. So